Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scentitar Fragrance channel. Thank y'all so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you back, and if you're new to my channel, you're very welcome here. So this is where we review fragrances, perfumes, colognes, all those good things, and we chat about fragrances. So today we're going to be reviewing and talking about Elixir by the house of Roja Parfums. So first off, this is a decant. I am reviewing from a Scentbird decant. There have been some people who have wisely talked about that you might not get your money's worth if you buy the cheaper fragrances. They do provide a good service though, and they're getting more and more niche. That's really worth your money overall, So if you want to check them out, I'll have a buy one, get one free link for your first purchase. And if you purchase, I don't get an affiliate, but I do get a free fragrance for me to review. And if you do buy through the link, let me know what fragrance you want reviewed, and I'll get that decant from Scentbird. So let's jump into this fragrance. First off, let's talk about the smell, then let's talk about the projection, longevity, then let's talk about, the compliment factor, and lastly, the price, always the price. So first off, when I think about the name Elixir, I think of a potion. I think of something mystical, maybe magical. For me personally, it makes me think of a deep, dark fragrance, perhaps something tantalizing like Vixen by Alchemia. So is this what we get here? No, this is a light and bright fragrance. This is on the opposite side of the spectrum, but there is a very whimsical, very light, very good nature to this fragrance. So this fragrance for me has not a lot of people talk about it, but the raspberry note was really prominent. It's not a super fruity fragrance, it's well blended, but the raspberry really was prominent. It's not juicy per se, but it does have a little bit of that tartness, and I do like it when notes stand out just a little bit, even if they are well blended. The rose is prominent. The few people have done reviews, I don't think they've mentioned rose. Now this rose is kind of airy, it's well blended, but this fragrance, really the heart of the fragrance is a rose fragrance. So ladies, if you really don't like rose, this might be one, especially if you're a younger lady, that you might want to check out. So there's other notes in it here. It talks about peach. Now perhaps there's a little bit of a well-rounded sweetness, that kind of nectar, a little bit of that quality. Peach really doesn't stand out to me. It says there's jasmine, and the jasmine is there, but to me it's a little bit of a dry jasmine, and it doesn't stand out too much, but it does give the fragrance, again, a really well-rounded feminine quality to the fragrance. And it says there's a little bit of vanilla, and in the dry down you could detect a little bit, but it's really hard to tell that there's vanilla in this fragrance. So overall, this fragrance is very light. It's a fruity floral with a little bit of this well-rounded nature that's really good. If you like, rounded fragrances with ambergris or Baccarat Rouge 540, those kinds of qualities, this has a little bit of that going on. It's not a note that's listed, I don't believe, but I get a good amount of neroli. This fragrance becomes a little bit soapy, and it also becomes a little bit musky as well, which neroli can help a fragrance have its own, little bit of a type of a musk, even though it's a clean musk. So that musk you can't really smell it if you just smell it from, the atomizer, but once it gets on skin, I do think that this fragrance has just a tiny bit of a neroli and a musky quality to it. So projection and longevity, it's a good everyday fragrance. It's not bad, but it's definitely not a beast. You're gonna get maybe 6. If your skin, you might get 5, you might get 7 hours. I think you're probably gonna get close to 6 hours longevity. Projection, it's kind of soft. It's elbow's length, but it's not a skin scent. It's not bad. It can get noticed in a very positive way. So I'm not knocking the fragrance, but for an extrait, or for how much this cost, I was expecting a little bit more performance or that kind of power factor. But let's get into the compliment factors. So This fragrance can get you compliments, ladies, and if you're a guy looking for a top-notch, higher quality, everyday fragrance for your special partner, this could be a good one to reach for, to buy, as a gift. Mother's Day is coming up, so perhaps this is something you might be interested in. I do think that this fragrance does have a little bit more of a character, but I don't feel like it's especially unique. So, it's a mass appealing fragrance overall. It leans a little bit more that way, just like Elysium did. And that's not a bad thing. I think it can get compliments for everyday situations. Everyday people, are just going to love this fragrance. It does have a little bit more of a character to it, so more distinguished nose. Might notice that it's a little bit different, but not a lot. So if you're a picky niche head, especially for this kind of price we're going to talk about, this might not be something that you love. So price-wise, it's about the same as Elysium. It's about $290 or so. Gets close to $300. Perhaps if you get a really good deal, close to $250 or so. It's a very pricey fragrance, no doubt about it. And that's a big factor when I rate fragrances. So if I was to rate this fragrance 0 out of 10, I think it's a nice, slightly soapy, slightly musky, kind of fruity floral fragrance that has a well-rounded nature. I think I would have to give this a 6 out of 10. The quality's really there, but I don't think that this fragrance is different enough. There's plenty of really good designer fragrances like Angel Muse by Mugler, and that really have a distinctive nature but are mass appealing and perform very well. If I was to spend this kind of money, I would definitely pay a little bit more and go for Venom of an Angel, which is definitely more exclusive and a beautiful fragrance, one that really, shocked me and knocked my socks off. That kind of fragrance, it's beautiful. I think Black Opium is a beautiful fragrance for everyday wear for a lady. And to me, this fragrance does have similar qualities to Coco Mademoiselle, which I think does have a little bit more of a character. I think it's an extremely versatile fragrance. I love the vibe. It's much cheaper and it performs better. So Coco Mademoiselle EDP, I don't think that this fragrance can really stand up to that fragrance. That's just my opinion, but this is definitely a very good womanly, just everyday kind of fragrance. It's going to get the job done. If you love fragrances like J'adore and those kinds of fragrances, you might want to check this one out. And if I do feel like overall that this is a little bit more of a mature fruity floral. So if you're a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old, lady, a young woman, this might not be for you. But I think if you're 20 to 25, this one has a little bit more of a character without being, business professional, or might, that classy vibe that Coco Mademoiselle might have. But that's just my opinion. I do feel like this fragrance has a place in the fragrance world. It's just not going to be one of my favorites. That's my honest opinion. Thank y'all so much for being here. If you've stuck around to the end of this video, please like, comment, subscribe, even share the video. Hit the bell to get notified of my regular content and videos so you never miss a video. And thank y'all so much for being here. Again, please use my promotional link. And if you did, feel free to, ask and for a recommendation of, a video for me, or a fragrance for me to review on my next fragrance, video. So thank y'all so much for being here today. It's always a pleasure. Feel free to let me know what your scent of the day is, how you're doing, how I'm doing, start a conversation in the comment section below. So I'll see y'all next time, and don't forget to wear what you love. Thank y'all so much again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.